Welcome to Jesse Waters Prime Time. Tonight,
this race is tight, tight, tight. If the polls are off like they were in 2020, Donald Trump would actually win the election.
early voting has officially begun, and Kamala's crashing.
Vote for Grandpa.
Driver! Take 2 steps to your right! 6 cell phones, 2 license plates, a letter, and a bullet in the chamber. Inside Ryan Ruth's plot to assassinate Trump.
This is about good versus evil.
Who am I introducing next? Who's next?
The president isn't running the country. So who is?
Sometimes the White House surprises me.
Plus,
Is there a British man watching this segment?
Fox News alert, Donald Trump holding a big rally in the swing state of Pennsylvania tonight. And he's just announced that in 2 weeks, he'll be going back to Butler, where he was almost killed. Voters across the country have just started casting their ballots. Early voting officially kicked off Friday in some states, and the lines were crazy. In Virginia, not a swing state, you could hear the Trump chants. Listen.
This is one of 3 early voting locations in Fairfax County alone. They're going to open another 13 of these locations in the beginning of October.
The Republican Party, not known for early voting, can't wait to get to the polls. As we head into the final stretch, the former president's in a good mood. Over the weekend, Trump held a rally in North Carolina and brought his secret weapons.
Make America great again. Vote for Grandpa.
Oh, he doesn't want to get off the stage. Oh, wow. Look at that. He's got the gene. Thank you, Luke. You know, I said, say MAGA. I whispered into his ear, so cute. I said, say MAGA. He said, vote for Grandpa. He didn't care what I said. And that was actually much better, right?
And today he spent the day buying groceries for moms.
It's gonna go down a bit. It just went down $100.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody.
This has a 2016 feel. Then he was speaking to the silent majority, and today he's speaking to the scared majority. Writer Douglas McKinnon says this: fear is real. Fear does motivate. Working class Americans do fear that elite-enabling liberal policies beyond their control are robbing them of their quality of life now and well into their future. But many of these Americans have also realized that there is one way to combat that fear and regain some of that control: by voting. Working class jobs are being gutted because politicians like Biden and Harris let our manufacturing base leave the country for cheap labor in exchange for political donations. The agricultural machine conglomerate, John Deere, an iconic American brand, has laid off hundreds of workers in the Midwest and are moving their factories to Mexico. And Biden and Harris never even tried to convince them to stay.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now.
You're making a big mistake.
A 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%.
This is vintage Trump. Cajole American companies with the threat of tariffs to remain in America, hire American, and make sure their products are made in the USA.
Smart.
This is why
Made
he won
in
in
America.
16, and if this continues, why he win again. Putting the American people
Nice
first.
to see that.
And American-made
Made
machines
in America.
need to be run with American-made
Instead
energy.
of made
Kamala Harris
Mexico,
has
made in
always been
China,
against American energy.
made in India, made
I'm
everywhere,
committed
everywhere
to
else,
passing a
but
Green New Deal,
made in America.
creating clean jobs, and finally
get her,
putting an end to fracking
You're gonna
once
get
and for all.
more of what's going on. Made everywhere else but here.
Mama Kamala just don't give a frack.
They care
Kamala
about
doesn't give a frack
everyone
about you.
else.
She's lying
Except
about her
us.
record because she wants to be president. For her, this election isn't about you at all. It's about her.
If you don't put Trump in, you're not going to have any energy jobs in here. They're not going to frack. They're not going to let you frack. You know that. She's never said frack in her life until just a short while ago when she realized her poll numbers were dying in Pennsylvania.
Members of the Teamsters, the police, and the Border Patrol.
A lot of frack going on in the White House. I heard this the other day and I thought it was great. This guy made some analogy. He said, okay, so let's say you live here and you in your house and your neighbor is across the street, right? And your neighbor is a fireman, but you can't stand that fireman. You don't like the way he carries himself. You don't like things he does. You just hate this guy. You don't like him. But now your house is starting to burn. You got a fire started in your house. Are you gonna run to the neighbor that you hate that's right across the street, the firefighter? Aren't you gonna go get that guy, or you're not because you hate him so much and you just resent him so much that you're not gonna go get him and risk losing your house, risk your house burning down? Or you're gonna put that to the side and you're gonna go get your neighbor, the firefighter that you hate so much, to help you put the fire out. I heard this guy say that and I was like, wow. That made so much sense. All right, let's get back to Jesse.
Hey, the spooks who signed the Hunter Biden laptop letter endorsed her. Oh, and the teachers union who abandoned our children during COVID, they're backing Harris. Also, the drug cartels have gotten behind Kamala Harris big time.
Oh yeah, and the IRS.
Putin endorsed Kamala, the Chinese love her, and the Iranians hacked the Trump campaign and gave their emails to the Harris campaign. Remember the quote, "Tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are"? If you were watching football on Sunday, you saw a Trump ad telling you exactly who Kamala Harris is, in her own words.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners, every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
Trump's making his campaign about you, while Kamala's been hiding from you. After inheriting her old man's money and stealing his delegates, she hasn't done a single real interview because the people who control her won't let her. If she wanted to show America she has what it takes, she could hold a press conference tonight and say, hey, ask me whatever you want. I'll be here until the sun comes up. What do you got? Kamala's handlers just announced she's skipping the Al Smith dinner, a tradition that goes back 40 years, where presidential candidates take turns roasting each other and
not
just to raise funds for Catholic charities. Hillary never chickened out.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
It's sad but not surprising that Kamala has decided not to attend. I don't know what she has against our Catholic friends, but it must be a lot because she certainly hasn't been very nice to them. Harris keeps saying she wants voters to see who she is. She's always rambling on about growing up middle class. The campaign says they want Americans to get to know her. She says she wants to unite the country, but she won't show up and have a little laugh. She loves to laugh. She doesn't want to make fun of Trump. It's all she's good at. She doesn't want to have a glass of wine and raise money for charity. It's not like anyone's going to ask her questions like, why'd everything get so expensive when you and Joe came into power? Or why'd you let 20 million migrants into the country? There were no wars under Trump, and now there's one in Europe and the Mideast. How'd that happen? Nobody at the Al Smith dinner is going to ask her why she said she wanted to legalize prostitution and decriminalize crack. It's not like I'm going to send Johnny to the Al Smith dinner to ask Kamala Harris why she fell for the Jussie Smollett hoax. when everybody in common sense knew it was a setup. Here's Kamala Harris marching with Jussie Smollett to end deportations. Kamala's flying migrants into the country. She doesn't want to deport any of them. She just wants to give them free sex changes. Now, if I was interviewing Kamala Harris, I'd ask her, don't you think free breast implants for migrants is going to make inflation a lot worse? The good news is people are starting to get to know Kamala Harris. You can't trust somebody who lies about their past or someone who ducks everything they're invited to. A fresh New York Times poll has Trump surging into the lead in North Carolina, Georgia, and in Arizona. He's up between 3 to 5 points there. And the media is bracing for the worst.
Let's say the polls are off like they were back in 2020. Look where he goes. He goes to 312. Why is that? Because the polls underestimated Donald Trump in 2020. So the bottom line is, instead of losing those Great Lake battleground states, he wins all of them. He obviously holds on to North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona, and he gains Nevada. So if the polls are as good as they were in 2020, despite the fact that at this particular hour Donald Trump trails in enough states to give Kamala Harris the victory, if the polls are off like they were in 2020, Donald Trump would actually win the election.
Seeing it.
So you know what happens there. The idiots start coming out, rioting. Get ready, because it's going to happen. When Trump wins in November, on November 5th, get ready for the idiots to come out and start doing what they do best, burn down cities. Hopefully not, but that's what they're great at. Not making America great. Have a great night. God bless Donald J. Trump. And God bless America.